Today we're going to see what what is that? How gouache paint is made? Shall we take a look? We're here in São Bernardo do Campo, in the metropolitan region of São Paulo, at this factory that's probably the most colorful place we'll ever set foot in. Gouache paint is mainly made from 4 ingredients: water, resin, mineral filler, and pigments. The resin arrives in trucks and is stored here in bulk. Its main function is to help the paint adhere, to make the paint stick to the paper. It works in a way that's very similar to glue. By the way, the resin used in gouache is PVA, which is pretty much the same ingredient as white glue. And here, it's important that the resin is water-based, because it's a paint that's going to be used by children. It has to be non-toxic. Actually, behind me, there's not just resin. There are other ingredients. These ingredients are used to make other products here. That's why you see that flammable. This here's the filler. Its function is to make the paint opaque. Without it, the paint would be kind of transparent. What they use is calcium carbonate, which is basically limestone. That time we showed the largest cave mouth in the world. The rock there was limestone. That's where the calcium carbonate comes from. Look how well it covers the hand. It's not transparent. It doesn't have any smell. The consistency is really nice. You can feel there's some powder in here. Better not. People are giving me dirty looks here. They set aside for us here a paint with filler and another without filler, which only has the resin and the colorant. Let's see the difference. With filler and without filler. One really cool thing here is that the whole factory was built with gravity in mind. The raw material stays at the highest point, and all the steps happen lower and lower. The filler and the resin will be mixed with water to form a base, which is white, but here they call it colorless base because it doesn't have the pigment yet. The color starts to appear here. This is the automatic pigment dispenser. There are 16 different ones, and depending on the combination, they can create up to 5,000 different shades. Everything has to be extremely well measured. So if you take a paint that was made 3 years ago and compare it to one made today, red for example, it has to be exactly the same. This is only possible because the dispenser sits on a scale that can handle a lot of weight, but at the same time is extremely sensitive. So its capacity is for 2 tons, but it has a precision of 1 gram. So if I put this cap on it, it can detect it. Does it really work like that in real life? It's showing here 1 ton and 39 grams. I stepped on the scale while I was recording. It messed up the dosage here and even flew off. The thing is, this is pure pigment. You only need a little bit in the paint, huh? It all goes into the cap. The equipment that mixes the base with the pigment is called a disperser. And here we have it open so you can see its blade. This is a cowl's blade, and it's specially made for mixing liquids with solids, and it's one of the most beautiful things you'll see in this video. This is just too mesmerizing. Next to the production line, there are several laboratories. They analyze the colors, the pH, the quality of the raw materials, the packaging. There's even a microbiology lab to make sure the factory's super clean and that the preservatives aren't having any effect. Once the paint is ready and approved, it needs to go into the containers. Since everything here works by gravity, it comes down from these reservoirs, goes through the hose, and goes to the floor below. I always imagined they would fill 1 color at a time, make a big batch of yellow, a big batch of red, a batch of blue, and then mix everything together when putting it in the box. But it's nothing like that. There are thousands of little containers that need to be organized in a line. Stop, stop, stop. The containers are also produced here in a separate unit. Let's take a look here, then we'll get back to the paint. The raw material is PT, which arrives here granulated and white. In the injection machine, they remove the moisture, the plastic melts, becomes transparent, and is pushed into a mold to make the preform, which is this weird little thing here. It's going to be heated, stretched, and blown from the inside out. And then, yes, it takes its final shape. Just one of these machines makes 1,000 of these little containers per hour. The cap is also made here in a slightly different process. The pigment is mixed with the plastic right at the entrance of the machine. Then they melt. Next, the machine separates very small pieces of melted plastic that are placed inside a mold and pressed. This way of producing ensures there won't be any flash. It's different from injection molding. Then a camera will check if the color's right and the shape is perfect, and the caps go through cooling. Now, let's go back to the ink. The paint is dispensed in batches of 24 with 6 different colors in the exact amount, and what's most impressive is that there's no splashing. Everything is extremely clean. Even when filling 500 bottles per minute, the filled container goes to a capping machine. And here, the pace is even faster. Imagine having to screw all of this on with the right amount of force. To make sure there won't be any leaks, a camera photographs each item and analyzes it. If there's a problem, it separates it. The packaging is all done by robot. On the side, the open boxes come in. Little by little, they are closed, until they meet a set of 6 jars of different colors. A piston arranges everything. The box closes, and a little ink sprayer puts the expiration date on. The expiration date printer is really cool, because it detects the box coming and sprays the ink from a distance. Let's see if I can do that on my hand. I'm valid until 2027. The next machine is a shrink wrap machine. It wraps plastic around 12 little boxes, it heats up, and the plastic shrinks. Each cardboard box comes out with 72 little boxes or 432 jars of gouache. I'll tell you guys that I don't even like showing a lot of stock at the end of the video. But here it's really cool. The shelves are 18 meters high, and the aisle is super narrow, because no one goes in. Storage is done by robots. They know the address of each box, not only when storing, but also when finding the products for each order. From here, this paint will go to stationery stores, homes, schools, all over Brazil, and to 30 more countries. The paint we just saw being produced could be in a work of art, in a school model, or even in that drawing you made in your first year of school that your mom still keeps to this day. I can't help but recommend to you all the Borave on Bouillon de Gaz. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a very different process from what we're used to showing on Manual do Mundo.